Hey there, Facebook. It is Vanessa here again, your motivational speaker, trainer, and head coach from Live, Love, Give. And today's message is one that I'm just inspired to serve to you guys today because I was just going through on my laptop some old documents that I had. And this popped up. It was something that I created a number of different years ago. And it's all called the Freedom Formula. It's really the 8-step system to creating your dream life. And why I came up with this at the time, a number of years ago when I left law school, and I started this journey of doing what I do right now. At the time, my partner asked me, they said, tell me, what were your steps? How did you get here? How did you make that huge transition out of law school and completely revolutionize your life and get to this point where you're creating something that's really on your terms? How did you do that? And at the time when they asked me that question, I was sitting in the most beautiful place. I was in La Spezia, which is just inland from Cinque Terre, which is this beautiful part of Italy, probably one of my absolute favorite places in the world. It is just gorgeous. Cinque Terre is 5 villages that you can't even drive your car through. You have to hike between the different villages, and it's right on the coastline there, and it's just absolutely stunning. And the place where I was staying at was an Airbnb which had this beautiful garden, and it was up on the mountains and it was overlooking it all. And it had this beautiful, overgrown, beautiful floral gardens and lots of wildlife around and a beautiful table out there. And I was just writing, and they asked me this question. So I came up with what I want to share with you guys today. And that's what I've called the Freedom Formula. And I actually haven't looked back on this for a couple of years. So it's going to be interesting to dive through this. And I've got it in front of me. I wanted to just share it with you guys. But where this idea and concept sort of came from was, when I left law school, and I don't want to reiterate into that story too much. I know a lot of you guys who follow me, you already know the story. But ultimately, I made that transition, which was a massive transition for me in my life. And it was so resonated when I came across the book, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying by Bronnie Ware. You should definitely read it if you haven't already. And the number one regret of the dying really resonated with me and helped me solidify my journey and tap into what I'm going to share with you guys today. But the number one regret of the dying is that I wish I had had the courage to live a life true to myself rather than one I felt was expected of me. And that's where the Freedom Formula comes in, because so many of us live our lives through the expectations of who we think we need to be in order to gain love, approval, validation from the external world, and particularly from the people that are closest to us. And we can often get to the end of our lives. Think about that. The number one regret of the dying, when this woman, Bronnie Ware, interviewed people in palliative care on their deathbed, this was the top result that people were coming up with. This is what they were saying was their number one regret. If they had to, reflect back on their lives on their deathbed, there was a common theme of wishing to have the courage to live a life true to yourself rather than one that you felt was expected of you. And this is where the Freedom Formula gives you a system to identify, how am I going to get there? How am I going to choose to be intentional about my life and step up and, not get to the end of my life and realizing this is my number one regret of the dying, utilizing that knowledge and experience from somebody else, from many, many other people who have had to live the hard way and get to the end of their lives and feel like they didn't live a life that was true to themselves. They felt trapped their entire lives and they totally regret it. And And also, you know, when I made this shift and change in my transition, which was so challenging, and I didn't have any system in place as to how to do that, but upon reflection, I was able to create this system. And that's what I want to share with you guys today, in hope that it, you know, stacks on top of the knowledge of the number one regret of the dying and gives you a system to start living a life that is true to who you are, an authentic life. And ultimately, that is what the freedom formula is all about. So I hope that you guys are excited about me sharing this with you. I'm excited to just like dive back into it and definitely share those steps with you. And I'm going to share the steps with you, and I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. So you might want to re-listen to this video later on, where you can sort of stop and pause it and answer the questions. And I really encourage you to do that so that you can get the clarity that you need to take the direction in the towards the life that you actually want to create, rather than one you feel is expected of you or you're just kind of defaulting into. It's all about being intentional and living life by design. So step number one in the freedom formula is you actually really have to be brutally honest with yourself. You have to admit and acknowledge exactly where you are right now. You know, I'm not sugarcoating anything, like being really clear about where you are currently on the map, because if you can't pinpoint and identify the truth of where you currently are, and then be able to identify exactly where you want to get to, you'll never close the gap. You'll never get there. You'll just keep, you know, running this old pattern and never really feeling any progress and never really making any traction towards the dream life that you have in mind. So, you know, admitting and acknowledging where you are. Get brutally honest with that, and don't sugarcoat it, and just ask yourself, where am I right now in my life? Where am I? And you might want to break it down in the different areas of your life. Where are you in your career, in your relationships, in your friendships, in your finances, in your health? Get brutally honest about where you currently are right now, and ask yourself, what do I need to admit to myself? You know, what have I been avoiding that's kept me in this position? What do you really need to admit to yourself? What needs to change? What needs to shift from where I'm at right now? And what do I need to start believing? Now, like I said, I'm going to run through this really quickly with you guys because it's just a Facebook Live, and I know, you know, your time is important, so I don't want to take up too much of your time, and I really want to make sure it's valuable. So like I said, I encourage you to re-listen to this video and pause it and actually do the work, because there's so much value in this. This is the exact system that I use personally to break through into creating the life that I live now, and I continue to use this system to get to the next level and get out of unfulfilling, for me it was unfulfilling career path, and really step it up and create the life of my dreams. So I want you guys to have that same system, and you can tweak it to whatever works for you, but I'm just sharing what's worked for me and what's worked for so many people that I've worked with. So step one. Step two, you got to be authentic. And in order to be authentic, you got to know who you are. So, you know, who is the real you is a great question to ask yourself. And this is going to take some time, particularly if you haven't done too much work around identifying your authentic sort of path to be aligned with. You've got to ask yourself things like, what do I value? What matters most to me in my life? You've got to get clarity without the filters. And that was my challenge. You know, I had so many filters through the people in my life. You know, the people that I loved, and I wanted their validation, their approval, their love, their acknowledgement. Ultimately, I needed to leave those filters behind, and I needed to identify my filters. What matters most to me? What am I going to filter my life through in terms of my values, who I really am, who is my higher self? And you need to ask yourself, what have I been suppressing within myself that is preventing me from living my dream life? Because we're all doing it. If we don't have what we want, there's parts of us that we're suppressing in conjunction with our lack of clarity over who we are and what we want. So that is step two, is identifying and being authentic. You know, it's about creating that framework as to well, what is an authentic life? What is a life lived true to myself so that I don't have to fall into the number one regret of the dying? You've got to get clear and you've got to start that process. And these are just a few of the questions that are really going to help you to do that. Step 3 is you've really got to clarify what you want. So step 1, you admitted, you acknowledged, you pinpointed exactly where you currently are. You identified in step 2, who is the real you? What's the real path? Which is getting clearer on step 3, which is what do you really want? Not just what everybody else wants. What does society expect me to want? What do I really want? What is it that makes my heart sing? If I could create anything in my life, what would be super inspiring? What would be, what could bring up so much emotion if I was able to visualize it and really take it in, that it would bring tears to my eyes? That sort of inspiration. What does a dream life look like to me? What does it look like? What would I be doing? What would I be sharing? What would I be experiencing? What would I be creating? Who would I be doing it with? Just dream big. This is a part of you that, you really need to unleash in order to get that inspiration, tap into that inspiration that's going to move you in the direction of the life that you were born to live, and stop suppressing yourself and keeping yourself small in a life of mediocrity. And asking yourself and tapping into how would it feel? Because at the end of the day, every single goal, everything that we are looking to create and move towards within our lives, it's not chasing the material. It's not chasing, oh yeah, I want to be traveling all my life. Okay, that's great, but the reason why you want to be traveling is because of the feelings you expect that to generate for you. So identifying the kind of feelings that inspire you, that you want to be living more into, that's ultimately what is going to give you so much clarity and direction. And instead of reaching and attaining these material goals that we all say that we want, and then getting there and then being like, okay, well, what next? We identify the kind of feelings we're looking to generate so that we can make sure that the creation that we are working towards is in total alignment with the kind of feelings we want to generate on a consistent basis. So that's really, really important. Again, you're going to definitely have to pause this video in the recording and go through. I really encourage you to put in the time and effort and investment in yourself to answer these questions and give yourself the time and energy and space to really, answer them from an authentic, clear space. So that was step 3. Step 4 is define why you want it. You've got to know all the reasons as to why you really want what you say you want. Because, if we don't identify the why, who was it that wrote that book? You guys all let me know. I've just lost it. Oh my gosh. Guys, please let me know who wrote that book. It starts with why. Oh my gosh, but a brilliant book, and that's what this part of the step is all about. You've got to know your why. Why do you really want to create this? Why is this vision that you have really, why is it inspiring for you to create? Why do you want it to play out that way? And why now? Why do you want it now? It's super important because you've got to get into action. It's not just about getting the clarity. You've also got to get into action, and the whys are really going to help pull you through the challenges rather than everything having to be a push and on willpower, which we know never truly lasts for long term. And you've got to be consistent. This is about creating your ideal life. It's not just a little goal here and there. This is your vision for your life, your dream life. The freedom formula is all about lifestyle, about vision, about long-term clarity and direction. And that's really what I want you guys thinking about when you go through these questions. Step 5, my favorite, you've got to be able to eradicate your limiting beliefs. If you don't have a system to break through your limiting beliefs, you are going to be at the whim of your fears. That's it. You're going to get excited in the moment about maybe something that you're looking to create here. But at the end of the day, if you don't have a system to break through, follow your fears and break through them so that you can have the courage to move forward, you're just going to take those dreams with you to the graveyard. You know, you're never going to actualize them. And that is a life filled with regret if you don't have a system in place to bust through your limiting beliefs. So you've got to be able to identify what's been holding you back from creating the life of your dreams. And again, you've got to be brutally honest with yourself. You've got to stop sugarcoating stuff. You've got to have that drive, that determination to identify and lock down what are those things that have been holding me back from achieving the things and creating the things that are most meaningful to me in my life. You've got to be able to get clear with yourself, meditate on this question, identify and bring that up. And what beliefs have I been carrying around that have been preventing me from living my authentic life? What are those limiting beliefs? What have I been carrying around this whole time that's been preventing me from stepping forth and really being authentically who I am? And also, then, asking yourself, what are some new empowering beliefs that I could replace these disempowering beliefs with so that I could ultimately, they can support me moving forward? What are the kind of beliefs that I need to be generating within myself that are going to pull me through, that are going to generate courage and resilience in me, that are going to motivate me to take massive action in the direction of creating what's most meaningful to me? All right, so like I said, I'm running through these pretty quickly, guys, because I want to make sure that you guys are going to get the value, and I'm not taking up too much of your time now because I want you to catch the recording, like I said, and go through these questions in your own time. Step 6, you got to focus and commit. This is about really just, committing to uncovering, creating, and living a life that is 100% unapologetically and authentically you. This is about leaving behind all of those filters, those expectations, and stepping forth with focus and commitment. And, this is the point where you've got to make it real by setting the date as to, what are you going to do right now? What action can you take right now? You've got to take the action with momentum in the moment and create a date in mind. Schedule stuff out that is going to allow you to create this. For me personally, I set a date as to when I was going to, leave uni. It was pretty quickly, actually, once I got that clarity. And then I set a date for myself as to when I wanted to start living the laptop lifestyle, when I wanted to be traveling the world with just my laptop and my suitcase and just focus on what was meaningful to me. And I set that date. It was 6 months away from the time that I had left uni, and I really wanted to step it up and be living my dream life, or my version of a dream life. And that's what I did. And I did it in 6 months because I set and scheduled a date, even though you as who you are right now doesn't know how you're going to do that. You've got to prevent your how I'm going to make it happen fearful mind from getting in the way of you creating your dreams. You've got to have trust, faith, and you've got to be able to schedule it to make it real so you have something measurable to move toward. All right, that's step 6. We're running through these real quick. Step 7, you've got to go for it. You've got to take massive action. You've got to burn the boats. There is no other way. You've got to, once you've got this level of clarity and you've reached step 7, you've got to just back yourself and go for it, and identify, what does it look like? What does progress look like to me? And you've got to break it down. You've got to know what is the result? What's it going to look like throughout this journey for me to be progressing towards that? And identifying who's currently living the life of your dreams, who is already doing it. And, instead of reinventing the wheel, work out how they did it. That's why I want to give you guys this system, because I know this system is going to get you there if you commit to your own personal growth and you're willing to do the work to up level and really stick to these steps and go for it, and really make sure that you are stepping fully into action, and creating that momentum, not getting stuck in all the how-tos and the thinking it through. Start taking action. You'll build momentum. You'll generate more and more courage and confidence, and you will reach your destination. So I love that. And then final step, step 8, honor the challenge. You know, our problems, our challenges, they ain't going anywhere. You are always going to have the next challenge enter your life. You're always going to have struggle. And I want to say to you and reiterate to each and every one of you that you have to honor the struggle. Because if you expect life to be smooth sailing without challenge and just, you know, support and encouragement and all the things we think we want, then you're going to get thrown off path at the slightest challenge. So if you can already be proactive with your thinking and you can honor the challenge, expect the challenge and value the challenge, knowing full well that it is the challenges that give us the opportunity to get to the next level, because we're going to learn the lesson and we're going to grow from it because we choose to move through it with courage and determination and a mindset of curiosity in terms of how can I learn from this and move and grow. Then honestly, that is, if you don't honor the challenge, you'll never get there. If you do honor the challenge, you'll always get there. So guys, that is the system, the 8-step system of the freedom formula. I ran through really quickly with you guys. I really encourage you all to take the time out for you and answer those questions that I shared with you under those steps, and really commit to you and the life of your dreams. Stop. You know, if we have that knowledge from those beautiful people who shared that with us on their deathbed, that the number one regret of the dying is that I wish I had have had the courage to live a life that was true to myself instead of one I felt was expected of me, then I really, really hope that you take that seriously and you use this 8-step system. Give it a go. I hope it works for you. It worked for me. It works for many other people. If you need to tweak it, tweak it. But at least commit to giving it a go and finding out what works for you. And my wish is that you start that journey today and you really use this message to gain momentum towards, you know, getting off the wrong path and start getting onto a correct path, a life that is truly aligned to who you really are. And if you haven't already, I really, really, really want to invite you to come and join the Limitless Potential Inner Circle community, where all of you guys who have already joined are stepping up, you're challenging yourselves, you're moving in the direction of your dreams, your calling, you're encouraging and supporting and challenging each other to do the same, and it's so, so beautiful to watch. And if you haven't, we really want you in there, so make sure that you click on the link. Oh my gosh, I forgot to link it up again, I'm sure, for you guys, so I will link it up after this video. Click on the link, request to join. I'll approve you, and I can't wait to see you in there, and we can go deeper on creating our dream lives and accessing higher and higher levels of our limitless potential. Awesome, guys. I'm going to check in with you guys. I've been going off for so long, so really want to see who's been able to join. I've got Ram back, and Stephen and Adrian and Jean Francois, and Carl's here, and Gary and Jeremy, and good morning to you, Adrian, and Hassani is here, and Jerry from Hong Kong. Awesome to have you. And Muritesh, oh, thank you so much for your kind words there, Stephen. Graham's here, and Hassan, and Jordan, good morning to you, and Jolene, and Lorraine, and Jacqueline, and Thomas, and Alexandria, and Joshua, and awesome to have you guys, and Ram. Hi to all the lovely people in this value adding session. I love you guys connecting with one another. It makes me so excited and lights me up. So thanks for doing that, Ram. And Shane's here, and Julie from Iowa. Awesome to have you. And Tianist and Maria, and Chris is here. Love it. And Bunty. Yes, Jeremy, powerful statement. Moving from the expectations of others to a life true to self. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know you get that. And I know you're on that journey. So I love it. And Carl from Minneapolis. Sorry, couldn't read for a second. Thank you so much for having such a positive impact on me every day. Oh, never stop. You are amazing and an inspiration. Carl, thank you so much for your kind words. You touch my heart. You guys give me so much joy and sense of contribution. So I so appreciate you letting me know that you're finding these messages valuable. So much. Appreciate you, Carl. And Jeremy, transcending tribal mentalities. Absolutely. And you've got so much wisdom on that topic, my friend. I love it. And Piero's here. And Bunty, I'm grateful you're finding this inspiring. Josue and Peter and Melissa are here. And Damien, hi to you. And Gabrielle, hello again. I'm grateful to see you too. And Ram, one of the most needed subjects, freedom by being true to our real selves. Absolutely. To me, that is actually freedom. If you are not able to be true to who you are, you're living in a prison, really. You know, true freedom comes from being all of who you are, and you can't be all of who you are until you know who you are. So definitely, I love that, Ram. And Jalal from Kurdistan, thank you for being here. And Saprit and Damien's from Melbourne. Awesome, my hometown. I'm back in Melbourne. I had to leave beautiful Warrnambool, but I'm back in Melbourne at the moment and I'm loving it. Gabrielle's here. I love it. And Jalal, thank you so much. Glad you're finding this valuable. And Ram, you're writing the questions down. I love it. And Adrian, no debt, freedom to travel with my photography and my own boss. Awesome. You're getting massive clarity around what it is that you want and what a dream life looks like to you. I love it. And Hassani, I nearly said it wrong again. This is just in time for me. Awesome. I was going to ask you and the Inner Circle group about figuring out your dreams earlier. Awesome. I'm glad that we seem to be on the same page with our thinking. So I'm loving that, Hassani. And I'm hoping that this was valuable to you. Yes, Jeremy, Simon Sinek, that's it. Definitely. Thank you so much for letting me know. He wrote the book, It Starts With Why, a phenomenal book and one that is a must in terms of, you know, making sure that we don't jump to the how-tos and then we get stuck and then we fall off the wagon in terms of creating our goals, our dreams, because we haven't got attached to the real reasons as to why we are doing what we are doing. Love that, Jeremy. Thanks for sharing. And Donabe, oh, okay. And Tanya, thank you. They're really, I love that you love my earrings. Thanks for letting me know, Tanya. And Gary, glad this is resonating. And Adrian, glad this is resonating with you too. Ram, you're awesome, writing down the questions. I have actually got this guide on my computer. So if you guys really want me to send it to you, then just shoot me give me your email or shoot me a message on Messenger or something, and I'll send it over to you guys. Jeremy, I might even put it on a Google link. So let me know if you want the guide, and I will put it on a Google link so you guys can download it. And Jeremy, humanity desires true freedom. Awesome. I love that you're loving it, and thanks so much for being here. And Naomi's here, and Catherine and Saifon and Jew, and awesome. Mashud's here. And Ram, yeah, you keep writing the questions. It's awesome. Manolo, hi to you. And Lucy's here, and Samuel and Jesse, and Irvin and Yuki. Awesome. And Jessica, thank you so much for the compliment about my hair, Jessica. Appreciate you. And Andreas, hello to you. And Shirley and Ramley, thank you for sharing. You're so welcome from Kuala Lumpur. I love it. And Adrian, definitely going to start applying this. Awesome, Adrian. You're an action taker, and it's inspiring, and I love it. So good on you. And Chevelle, awesome of you to be here. And Shane and Josie, good morning to you, Shane. And Antonio. And awesome, Adrian, you'll take a copy. I love it. I'll get it up on a Google Share Drive. So you guys, I'll put the link in there later on today so you guys can download it. Awesome, Carl. Yes. And Robin, you're no problems at all that you've missed the live session today. I hope you catch the recording, which I really have encouraged each and every one of you to re-listen to this Facebook Live and pause it as you go through the questions. It'll be really powerful for you guys if you're committed to your own personal growth and creating the life of your dreams, so you don't have to get to the end of your life and experience the number one regret of the dying, which is I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself rather than one I felt was expected of me. Hope that was that was valuable to each and every one of you guys. I have so appreciated you guys for being here, for joining me. As always, you guys light up my world, and I love so much engaging with you guys, and definitely getting to interact and see who gets to join me. And Ram, living our life true to our authentic self is the best justice to the most beautiful gift God has given us. Beautifully put there, Ram. Absolutely. And thanks for your kind words there, Shane. Appreciate you. And yes, guys, that is it from me today. I am sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I appreciate you so, so much. I can't wait to get to connect with you deeper in the Limitless Potential Inner Circle community. So make sure that you definitely come and join us over there. Love to have you a part of the extraordinary community that we're building of beautiful human beings. And yeah, you need to be a part of that. So I can't wait to see you in there. And I'm sending you all of my love, and I will see you guys tomorrow.